Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask Me Anything by JVology. I'm your host, Krista Inakovsky, and I am always happy to be here to showcase some of our spectacular JVology members, and particularly interested today because I've had the pleasure to meet, to work with, to witness their work when we were in San Diego not too long ago, and even through Zoom, we've had a chance to work together. I love what this couple is up to, and we're going to have a great discussion today. Antonio Becker and Greg Lee, welcome to the Ask Me Anything show.
Hi, Krista. Nice to see you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Very exciting.
Wonderful. I'm going to play our JVology intro, and then we'll rock and roll from there.
Name.
All right, it's official, and we are ready to dive in and get to know more about what you do at the Self-Help Institute and what Core Talk is. And like I said, I've had the pleasure of witnessing it, of actually having a session with you. But I'm going to really let you tell our audience what Core Talk is and what you do, because you can explain it way better than I can.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Well, 25 years ago, we started working with people, and we were introduced and learned this incredible work where we can talk to bodies. So that's the core, talking to the body, the core of the body. And it's such a privilege to be able to get to work with people at that level, because we get to give them a connection to their body that knows everything about them, that knows how to heal, knows the effect of the experiences their life have had on them. And it can just point us in the direction as we talk to that core to exactly what's going to be best for them. So our expertise is asking the questions, and in all the coursework that we do and the coaching that we do and the one-on-one work that we do, we guide people to what they need to know and what questions they want to ask to get to that core and get to what is going to give them the result that they want.
Yeah.
Right. That's fascinating. I definitely want to ask you some questions, but speaking of asking questions, I want to make sure that all of our audience, if you're a friend of Antonia and Greg's, or if you're watching this live stream through another channel or group, I want you to do me a favor and click above the video where it says J Facette, and click on that. That's going to take you to our original broadcast page. And when you go there, you can ask questions and we'll be able to see them, and we can bring your questions onto the show and answer and interact there. So if you do any commenting below on Facebook and we're on a different page, on Greg's page or my page or Antonia's page, we won't be able to see you. So just a little behind the scenes, click on Jay's name, and then from there, ask away. And because I think it's going to be more interesting when we can get our audience to ask some really cool questions. So, all right, there's a lot of different angles we can take this. First of all, tell me a couple of reasons. Like, why would people come to you? What's going on in somebody's life when they go, you know what? I need my core talked to. Right? How does that come to be the question?
Right. It's not the necessarily top of mind problem per se, but the cool thing is that we all know when things are not quite going right. You know, it feels like a struggle, or, you know, you're just not feeling enthusiastic or inspired, or you're so tired, or there's a myriad of symptoms of this that all come down to not feeling inspired or feeling resistant to moving forward. And that's when you need to be able to look and feel inside, access that inner wisdom, which is what we show people how to do, to access that inner wisdom so you can say, well, body and brain, what the heck is going on? Why don't I feel inspired? Why am I exhausted every time I try and write that sales page? what the heck is going on? I need some help. And that's when the point of that, inability to move forward, that procrastination, the cat videos, the Netflix series that keeps happening, every 45 minutes. So it's when those things set in and you're not getting done what you need to do. That's when that's the point where we can help people get off that issue and start moving on the trajectory that they want to move on.
Yeah, I look at this as we kind of start externally, like, oh, what's wrong with me outside? Oh, I need more productivity, or I need some inspiration, or I need to work out, or maybe I should change my diet. Like, we're looking for these outside factors that we're looking for, because that's what we're taught to do, right? What's going on? How am I supposed to change myself so that I can feel better or more in alignment? And what I've seen and experienced with you two, it's about going inward and actually finding what's happening inside that we can let go of. And an even more peculiar part that I've witnessed is it's not even the things that we know about. It's like almost like these secrets that the body is holding on to that you're able to identify and help an individual let go of. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Well, I think in what happens with the body is it's actually protecting us from those things that in the past were such difficult experiences that maybe happened over and over again, maybe when we were a kid, that we kind of turned off to them so that we don't really even have like an outward reaction. So they're kind of latently down deep inside of us. And our body is holding on to those things like a library. It's like in the section of the library where you don't even know it exists. And it's
the secret library.
The secret library is like, and it's like, it's holding those things for us, just waiting for that time of grace, that moment when we all of a sudden are at the end of our wits. We don't know what we're going to do. And it's kind of like it's amazing what comes out as far as symptomatically when you get there. It looks like physical symptoms. It looks like digestive problems. It looks like headaches, lack of sleep, frustration, being short with your partner, not having this reactions that you would love, not having the equanimity that you wish you had. And it shows up then in your business and your results. But those things, our body does literally, and especially our head, it protects us from having to go and experience those things again. But what happens is the memory of them is so deep in our brain, and it's such a memory, a thought, a whole energy around the beliefs that we created from those experiences that we end up kind of trying to figure out what's going to happen in the future based on all of those old experiences. And it really short circuits our ability to move into the place where we really want to be. And it's why so many of us have a problem when we get to the edge of where we really want to move forward, we recede back. And it's there to be had, but we have to reach over the fence somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the thing go ahead.
I'm just going to say that analogy of like you want to get out of the cave and look and explore, but we get scared and run back in for safety. And our bodies do that at a deep level, even when we're wanting something so different. But there's something internal that's so strong. And when you can't identify it, it makes it even harder to fight against. Like, why do I keep retracting? Why do I not fully live into what I say that I want, but I'm not doing it?
Exactly. And I think that's what really differentiates our work from so many other people's work, is that it's not just about thinking. It's not thinking ourselves well or, thinking about a better attitude. It's connecting into the body and connecting what's happening in your brain with what's happening in your body, and finding out from your body what it needs to release all of that so that you really can move forward with these beautiful, encoded beliefs and new, lack of these blocks and things like that in your emotions.
Now, is this a difficult process for the person doing it? Do they have to
It's like,
work really hard and think about that part of their body that they're releasing? What does that look like? I mean, I do know the answer from my own perspective, but I just want to put it out there, maybe from my own experience with you two. That I want to put that out there because people may be asking themselves, wow, that sounds like a pretty hard thing to do. Could I even do it? And I want to say hi to Paige.
Yeah, hi, Paige. Hi, honey.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think people are many times surprised at what it is that's holding them back. And, and many times your body actually will take us back to an earlier age. And people think, wow, but that doesn't seem like it was that big of a deal. Or sometimes it was. And what we like about this process is that it is very kind on people. And yes, there is some emotion that comes up, but your body will never bring something up that it can't deal with, that you can't deal with. It protects us in that way. And it's very nice. It actually won't even talk about it if it's something that's too much.
Yeah.
So it has this sequential, very purpose-oriented way that it goes through the process of bringing up what's best for us. And as it does it, we're able to look at that thing. Then we do our process with them, or we actually teach people to do it, which is we'd rather teach people to fish than keep giving them fish all the time.
Yeah.
Although we love giving people fish.
You're really good at it. I have to say, you're really good at it.
Right?
But this process is kind and forgiving. And there is a step-by-step process of being able to do it, even something that seems so mysterious of how our body takes in our experience and then keeps it there for us to then use that information to move forward in a very powerful way.
I think what the input that we've gotten over the years is that most people just find it very interesting. Because I'm a curious person, so I'm always like, oh, what is that? What would happen? And I think a lot of people are curious about, whoa, why did I do that or say that? Or where did that come from? And as soon as you start talking to your body and realizing, oh my gosh, my body's is on a separate railroad track than my brain is. And whoa, look at what happened? Look at the difference between what my brain is thinking and what my body wants. And that dichotomy is just so interesting to see and decode that most people are like, whoa, that was really, awesome, because I never thought of it like that. The body's able to bring up new ways of thinking about old things that can switch your whole perspective, your attitude, your way of being around into a healthier, more successful, profitable way of being.
I found that to be true for myself. I do a lot of personal development work myself and over the years. And I've also found that you kind of key in on your main story. Like, I'm going to develop and break down and look at the limitations and all of these things. And as much as I try to be open-minded, I've realized that I was really honed in and focused on kind of one general theme, main story over the last couple of years that have been continuing to work on. And through your process, my body was like, oh, let's talk about this over here. Like, what's over there? Because we do, like, our thinking brain is pretty powerful. We just kind of keep focused on these one particular areas, and the body has its own, like you said, it has its own agenda and its own set of stories and its own desires to let go of things that we maybe aren't completely aware of. And that's what was the case with me, which I thought was fascinating.
Mm-hmm. So it really turns out to be more fun than anything. I mean, you do have to have a certain, okay, let's do this. attitude about it. You can't be like, oh no, I'm not gonna,
Not dealing with that.
not dealing with that, not going there. If that's your story and you're sticking to it, then that's that. But if you're kind of like, nope, I'm getting through this, I want to do this, I want to change, I want to move forward on what I want, then it's a fun process, and it's funny also. It's a funny process.
So what are the results that people that you've worked with, what is it like for them now that they've worked with you? And is it one time, 800 times? How many times is the process needed to go through to feel results? And what do those results look like?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've had people who will get on a call with us and they'll write an email later that day. Can't believe I'm just doing it. I have been stuck in this place for so long, and now I'm not. And then we might hear from that person a month later, and they say, "Hey, I'm trying to do this, and something's coming up. I don't get it." And so again, the analogy of teaching someone to fish versus giving them fish. In our Success Accelerator Code program, we have decoded the process that we've done for so many years and turned it into simple yes/no questions that people can ask their body. And we use muscle testing when we're doing that. And they can by themselves go through this process. And, it takes a little while to learn. So in our course, it's a 5-week course. And over that period, we introduce them to all the different parts of the process so that they can then go through the code step by step, and they understand. Because understanding kind of how your body and your mind works together and how it serves to fulfill your life and how it creates your reactions and your thoughts and your beliefs, it is important. If we have, some type of emotional awareness of, when we're getting emotional, angry, sad, or whatever it might be, is way more helpful than just kind of trotting along and wondering why it's not working. So there's, definitely a number of pieces to the process that as people become more aware of the kind of, I kind of think of it as bang for the buck. If I do this process for 10 minutes right now, it's going to give me a heck of a better next half of the day, and I'm going to be way more productive. Mm-hmm. So some people we'll hear from someone and they'll say, I'm stuck. I don't know, exactly what to do right now. And we'll say, oh, well, did you ask your body this? Oh, no, I didn't do that yet. Oh, okay. We'll give that a try. And then, get back to us and see. And we'll get the thing. Oh my goodness. It was just one little thing. And now I'm back on track.
Yeah. So actually the process is broken down so that there's things that you can do in, 30 seconds that we have heard from people, and it has worked for us, that it's like you do that one thing and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I can finish this. Oh, yes, I'm back on board. Some things, as you know, it's just like us as humans, that some things are easier and faster and some things take a little longer. So then there's a part of the process that takes, a few minutes, but you can clear out some of the deeper things. And sometimes it depends on what you've been through in your life and how much, that's going to be the deciding factor about how many times or how much work you have to do. It's really it's so individual because each of us have been through all of, different experiences in our lives. And it just depends on how those experiences have impacted us, and then how that they've impacted us and how that affects our behavior in the present, which is what our success is, right? How we act in the present is how successful we're getting. So it's all individual. It just depends about how deep you want to go, because you can do things in a moment and you can do them maybe 5 times and that's great. Or you can do even more deep work and maybe you need to do it a few times, several times. We work on ourselves a lot.
So it sounds like you can use the process on yourself to really go deep, almost like you'd carve out time in the morning or like when you would do some meditation and really take that time to go inward. And it also sounds like once you've got a hold over of that you can use it throughout the day as almost like maintenance. So you can sense that, hey, I'm a little bit off, or I'm about to go into something, make an important decision. Let me go in and check with my body and use this modality to help me move forward powerfully in this moment in the day.
Exactly. You can use it. And I see Michelle's question there. Hey, Michelle, it's so good to see you. Is there a difference between the business and personal? No, not really. It's the same kind of questions that you use to find out what your body wants. But we have structured our course so that it really hones in on the business stuff so that you can get out of procrastination. But as you know, many of us procrastinate in our personal life too. And there is a whole piece of it, which is part of our deeper certification level, which really can hone into the body and what the body needs for chronic stress, chronic pain, and all sorts of body issues as well. I mean, that's how we started back in the day, was helping people with headaches and allergies and all sorts of things like that. So the same process can be used either business or personal.
Does it take people a little bit of time to trust their self, like to trust their instinct, trust their intuition, to kind of get the fine-tuned feeling for what this is? I would imagine that it kind of depends on how in tune someone is to their gut, their body already, before they can just say, oh yeah, I got this.
Right.
Yeah. We do guide people in the course that we do with questions that will help them find some grounding, some real basis of truth, so that they can go, oh, of course that's a yes to that question, so that they feel more comfortable as they start to get into talking with their body. And it's a real important part of
like baby steps, do things that are a little bit easier to recognize before you get into the tough stuff.
Yeah.
Building the muscle.
Yeah. Well, and that's also why we have people use a pendulum, because that for the muscle testing, because that helps them not use their brain so much, or the worrying about trusting it, and so that they can use the pendulum. It's a conduit for their body, but their brain doesn't interfere as much. So that makes it a little easier. And then can I say, Michelle, absolutely, yes, your tight IT band, the thing about all the muscles is that they're governed by meridians in your body. And your meridian is your energetic superhighway in your body, which feeds all of your organ systems, muscles, bones, everything. So that tight IT band has a governing meridian. And when you start going in and asking questions about that meridian and why it's tight, it'll loosen up after you do the process. Yep.
Now, does what you teach or believe, all of the above, are certain parts of the body associated with certain emotions, or is it different for everyone?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People are having like shoulder problems. Oh, shoulder problems. That's going to relate to, problems with your mother.
Yeah. So it's totally a part of the roadmap, because specific meridians govern specific muscles. Those same meridians that govern, so let's say it's the anterior deltoid is governed by the
stomach.
No, the gallbladder meridian. So
he's the expert on which muscles.
So
which
when this muscle is tight, and we ask our body, "Wow, is that about?" And we're going to ask if it's about emotion, but is that governed by the gallbladder meridian? Oh yeah. Let's see, what's that gallbladder meridian about? Oh, rage. Am I mad about something? Body says, yep, you're mad about something.
And let me tell you who
So-
it is and when it is.
So
and
there's all that stuff. So we can go as deep as we want, or you could just in that moment, we have done these things we call quick clears. And you do a quick clear for anger. And your body says, thank you very much for tapping into my incredible wisdom. I can now release that muscle. And if you want to find out a little bit more about where this anger came from, we can work on how that's affecting your life.
Well, and where it started and the whole process, the little bit longer process then says, okay, what age did that start at? What happened? Let's clear all that out with these quick clears, get all that out, come back. Oh, look, that's looser. And that's, that's part of the process, is looking back to see when it started.
So as you look back, and let's say you've identified something that happened when you're 7, do you really have to uncover it? I mean, do you have to go deep? Does this become like a psychiatry session where you're having to now unpack something that you had forgotten about, and that's painful to bring it all to the surface and rehash it? Does it have that sense of like heavy conversation around it? Or are you able to let it go energetically? Explain that, because honestly, I'll tell you, I had a little bit of fear around it when you were taking me back. And I think it was around either 7 or 8 that my body wanted to talk to you. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is it going to say?
Right.
What? I think I had a great childhood. What if I didn't? Like, what if there's something up under that I didn't know about? And then that was a little bit of anxiety for me. And I think people may also be afraid of that. Like, gosh, what if there's something I didn't know about and now I've got to bring it up and deal with it? And tell me, expand on that.
That's another area where our body has that incredible compassion for us. Mm-hmm. So we have dealt with people who have had incredible adverse experiences in their, very traumatic things in their childhood that they don't remember at all. Really nasty stuff. So their body will say something at 7, and we'll say, do we need to know anything about that? No. Is that stuck in the meridian? Yes. Is it this one? Yes. Is there anything else we need to do but clear it? No. Clear the meridian, and the body starts to let go. It unpacks on its own. Mm-hmm. It has such incredible intelligence that it will bring whatever you need in that moment. Mm-hmm. And of course, if somebody doesn't remember, it's a different impact than somebody knowing exactly what went on. But what's beautiful is that we don't need to know, and you don't need to talk about it.
Okay.
Just even remembering the experience is enough. And then as your body guides you or guides us, if we're working on you, to be able to release that energy around that, it's then fulfilled, it's complete. Your body says, that's wonderful. That's all I needed to do was to bring that to your attention, that relates to this thing you're talking about now and what you want now. And this is the reason that it's difficult now. And now that we've visited that, we can begin to heal it and let go of all that.
That's beautiful. It's nice to have that healing process without digging too far in and almost creating a situation that you now have to deal with. But instead, the body can go, there was something there. I'm willing to let go of it. Mm-hmm. Let's move on.
Absolutely. And that is, your body knows what it wants to do, and it will do exactly what is right for you in the moment. So we always trust what the body says it wants. We never go, further. We don't pester it with extra questions. You just, okay, let's just do this. Let's get in, let's get out. Let's move forward. And it can be as simple as that.
Yeah. And in the coded process that we've created for people to do their own healing, it really is that simple. And we really encourage people to keep to the script. Okay. So that as they're asking questions, they don't have to go any deeper than these 3 or 4 questions with each area. And then it keeps them safe. It keeps the ability to move forward, to heal and move on. In that it really gives people a safe space to work within. Mm-hmm. So the container gets to move from the trauma healed to present time healed without having to stir it up and make a mess again.
Right.
Now, the process that you teach, that we're able to take your course and learn how to do this, if you're doing it, let's say with your partner at home and you're both learning how to do this, or even a kid who's old enough to handle it, would you ever, can you go back and forth with each other? Is it something you can do interactive, or is it really just like you better stick with yourself?
Oh no, we do it with ourselves like 100, not 100%, 99.9% of the time we do it together. And we've had several couples coming through that, work with each other. And it's a really beautiful way of doing it, actually, because, other than our body, who knows us the best, and maybe other than your mom, who maybe you don't want to talk about all this stuff today with, your partner is generally the person on the planet who knows you better than anyone else, or even your kid, and they'll be very truthful with you. And so the dynamic is actually very helpful in a loving relationship, because sometimes when you're doing it on yourself, like maybe you don't exactly want to ask that question, or maybe you're not quite getting, to the core of the issue, and your partner's like, no, babe, this is what it is. How about this?
Or ask this.
Ask this. Right. And so you can really help each other get right to the center of the issue much faster, and with that love padding all around it, right? So that it's just like, yeah, that was a hard time, but look at where we are now. Look at the love. Look at where we're sitting. Look at how we are. And this is where we are now. Yep, that happened in the past, but we're here to heal it, bring it forward, and have an even better life right now.
That's really neat. That's really neat. The thing that I've also found very interesting is the work wasn't exactly what I expected it to be, or maybe for myself, I didn't know exactly what I was going to uncover. Luckily, I didn't have any shooting pains or any like body issue that was like really my trouble spot. So I came with more of an open space. And Jay Facette did a session with you. His wife Corey did a session, and we all ended up sharing our notes after the fact, which is kind of fun. And like, it wasn't quite, my body talked about something I didn't quite think we were going to talk about. So it kind of takes this unexpected turn. You don't have to walk in knowing exactly the reason for showing up. And yet we all were able to release something and have a really powerful experience with it, even though it wasn't necessarily what we maybe would have thought going into it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, one of the things that we do with people when we work with them in the course is we have them, because it really, the Success Accelerator Code is designed for people who are entrepreneurs and business owners, so that as they hit the wall, and they have an entrepreneurial meltdown, they have tools and a process to recover, so they don't lose their day or lose their hours or not be able to complete. So in the program, we put in something called goals and actions. And it's something that is totally normal in business, right? You got to have goals or you have no idea where you're going. But these goals function differently. We put the goals down and then the actions, and then you ask your body, is there something about this goal that might be difficult? And so then it brings, yes. Oh, is this about an emotion? Is this about a belief? And you can go through the process that way. So it really is like, so then you're supercharging your ability to really be specific to get done what you need to do.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes it so interesting also, is that whole not always knowing exactly what's underneath what is stopping you from moving forward, right? And so in order to break that open, the body's like, well, I know what it is, even if you don't know. So let me show you
Ask me some questions.
Let me show you actually where it started, even though at first glance it may be completely different from what you're thinking. But then when you kind of internalizing, you're like, oh, well, that's actually the same kind of thing that I'm going through right now. Different people, different places, different things, but it's that same feeling that I keep getting over my lifetime. And that's your body saying, now's the time. Let's knock that one out of here. Let's wrap up that issue. Hi, Deidre. Yay, good to see you.
You're with us in San Diego also. Great to see you. Another brilliant light worker.
Absolutely.
I love that you're saying that, because we all have encountered that we have repeating patterns, right? We stumble over the same thing that holds us back on some level or another, and it somehow, being an entrepreneur just can highlight that, right? We have bigger goals, we have all this desire to move forward, and then start to see, like, I'm doing it again, and we do tend to just see with the eyes that we already know. We can only see what we've seen, and we keep trying to fix it in the same way.
Yes.
The body now can go, whoa, you're missing it. You're missing something. It's over here. Let me help you.
Right. Exactly. And what's so fun is when we do our private work with people and they come and see us on a regular basis, when their body knows it's time to have an appointment, then we say, oh, make a list of anything that comes up. Just make a list. And all of a sudden the body will be like Michelle's, tight IT band. All of a sudden her IT band's going to start aching a little bit, or if you have an issue with procrastination or self-doubt or something, then all of a sudden that'll come up for you. And that's your body's way of saying, work on this, let's do this in this appointment. And so that's really how people also come to us, is like, oh, all this stuff is up. Let's work on these different things. And then
sometimes it's a physical ailment, actually in the body, a pain in the body. And sometimes it's more of a performance issue. You're just getting frustrated emotionally, or not achieving what you really desire achieving. But that's great. They can be such different things, and yet it's one solution.
Yeah, work with your body.
Yeah, well,
one body.
I mean, and it can even be a combination, and usually is,
right.
Especially for entrepreneurs when they get into their workspace. And I mean, how many of you out there have worked more than 15 days straight? How many of you out there have worked more than 30 days straight?
Right.
It's like, and that has an effect on your body, your mind, your spirit, everything. So yeah, it's just so interesting to see that we aren't just one level of being. We're very dynamic. And we all have a core spiritual kind of like engine that runs us. And no matter if you pay attention to it or you don't, right. It's still there going on in the background. And it's kind of like, it's the accountant, and it is accounting for how you're taking care of yourself. And that self-care thing, as it diminishes in time, and that, is kind of like a wave for entrepreneurs. When we get low on our self-care credits, our body, mind, and spirit starts to talk to us in ways that make it difficult for us to move forward. And so it's like, if we can use a process, if we have any process, whatever it might be, many times you'll hear somebody say, before I go into a sales call with a client, I focus and I get grounded. Well, imagine, and I love that process, and I think it's a great process. Imagine also being able to say, and body, is there any emotion that I need to clear before I start this sales call? And
in fact, you had your own baggage.
Yeah,
exactly.
With someone else.
Giving yourself the advantage that you can by having the awareness that there's something you can do about it and what to do.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask, I'm a huge advocate of meditation. I do a practice in the evening and in the morning. How is this different, and how would you combine both? Or is it a substitute? Like, what's your opinion on?
No substituting on that one.
No.
We love meditation. We meditate every morning, and we try to meditate at night as well. Totally different thing. I mean, that's really, that line, I don't know if you guys saw the Goonies movie years ago. It's our time. And I just keep remembering meditation is our time, right? It's like maybe the only time in the day, or one of the only times, where we just get to focus on our own calm and our own ability to zone in on ourselves. And really, that's one of the huge self-care things that we recommend, is doing meditation, because, you know, I think everyone knows that not only is it good for your concentration, your peace of mind, it lowers your stress level, it lowers your blood pressure, it lowers your heart rate, all of those things, physical and mental. So that's one thing we do every day, and we love it. And we also do what we do throughout the day, during the day. Sometimes we suggest to people to do it before they go to bed, so that helps their sleep, right? Especially if they have a lot of fear running through them, that helps a lot at night or in the morning. To do core talk therapy, on themselves. And then sometimes in the morning, when we just had a person doing her signature talk, and she did some quick clearing with the core talk right before, and she just was able to go out there and be herself and be her authentic self.
That's beautiful. That really is. And so many, I know in our JVology community, especially, we have people doing such heartfelt, meaningful, deep work, that though they have to be very prepared and grounded to serve people at the level that they want to. And so to be able to learn a process that you're teaching to help them get really clear out whatever from the past in the body is showing up. And to do that, like you're saying, like right before you go on stage, before you have a counseling call, before you're stepping forward and bringing your value to the world, clear yourself out so that you are as present and impactful as you can be. And for you to be able to share that with us and allow us to learn how to do that is really, really powerful.
Thank you.
Can you share with us how we can learn from you, where we can go? And you can even, if you want, you can throw over in the private chat, and then I'll throw it into the comments. You're not multitasking too much here. I'm going to share the link, or when we're done, you can always go back into the broadcast or onto Facebook and add any links or places that we can connect with you there. Know how to learn how to do core talk therapy.
Yeah. I mean, we have a number of ways where people can connect. They can. We have a free gift that is at selfhealthinstitute.com/switch. The switch. And it gives some of these core ideas of how to work with energy, and how to stay focused in your day, in your business day. So you can switch from I'm stuck, I don't want to get this done, I don't want to work on this stuff, to, yeah, maybe I could do this now, to, oh, that was easy.
Yeah. So, so we have on that, you have the lovely download that shows you how to switch up your day in a moment. Okay. And then there's a little webinar talking about, all the different things that we could help with. Kind of, it's actually, no, it's
and why it happens.
How to increase your peak productivity. Yeah. And then there's if someone wants a strategy session to find out more about it, then you can sign up there as well. So it'll take you right to come and see us, and we can talk, maybe do a little clearing and the whole thing.
I think that's wonderful. And I really encourage everyone out there to take advantage of this. Go check out selfhealthinstitute.com/the switch. Take advantage of that free offer and look into it, because as much as we have this message to bring to the world, whether it's the whole world or whether it's the two people that you live with or whatever, range that is, but showing up as your best self really comes from being clear on who you are, getting rid of the things that are holding you back. And the more vibrant and alert and well, and the body, both body, mind, and soul, we can be, then the better we can be. And so I invite everyone to take advantage of this, learn this modality of how to clear and release and be the best version of you. And good grief, especially if you have physical pain, get rid of that. Right?
Exactly.
Yes.
And we are going to be putting on our course, the Success Accelerator Code, in June, and we would love to talk with anyone who's interested in that.
Wonderful. So if anybody's watching and you're watching the replay, go ahead and just throw your comments in there. We'll continue to monitor them, and we can follow up. Greg and Antonio can follow up as well, and would love to have you. Oh, let me get that posted. I just put it up there. Where did I put it? Put it in the wrong place. I want to make sure that's there. Whoop, so you can see it.
Good technology work.
I know, I'm trying.
We are so talented.
That and that. So the Success Accelerator Code course is coming in June. Yep. So get all the information you need to, get signed up for that, take advantage of it. I will tell you again, from my personal experience, from my individual friends having a personal one-on-one session, from witnessing Antonio and Greg delivering a session to our mastermind group in San Diego at JVology Summit, was really, really, really powerful. Each and every one of them. And so what do you have to lose? Feel better. Feel the best of yourself. Let go of the things you don't need.
That's the best question. Awesome. What do you have to lose?
Well, it has been such a pleasure. Any last words? Give you.
It's just our truest, deepest wish that people can find their passion in their work, and that whatever's in their way falls away with ease and grace, so that they can move forward and just be the powerful force in the world that they're meant to be, and just be able to take the incredible voice that they have, speak softly, loudly, however they want, but speak up.
Yeah, be your unique self.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure, as always, to see you. Have a wonderful rest of the day. And
thank you.
And for everyone out there, if you are not already signed up for JVology Live, do so now. Our live event. If you've been to, we were at JVology Summit together. JVology Live Virtual is going to be June 12th. Your 14th is coming up really soon, and you can grab your ticket. I'm going to drop the link in here. Share with our audience why they might not ever want to miss JVology Live.
Oh my gosh, it is the best networking pad for anyone who wants to meet a bunch of cool people, because they're very cool people there. Only cool people are there, I swear. All the people are cool. And so it's very fun. Everyone has such unique offerings, and there's a wonderful variety of offerings that are represented there. And you can find a partner for almost anything you want to do. It's a fantastic platform, and we can't wait to go again, this time virtual.
Yes, our first virtual event, and we've been working really hard as a team to make it an awesome experience for all of you. So make sure you get your tickets now, because we are going to be mailing you a box in the mail.
I
How
can't
fun.
wait.
Your creation package, so that you will have physical representation of this experience in ways that we can connect everything from a JVology wine glass to our workbook to our custom pens, a game piece that's going to be an interactive game that runs throughout. So we're really excited about that. And regardless of your level and your business, learn about the power of joint ventures at this fabulous event, and grab your ticket now.
Perfect. We got ours.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wait.
Very good. All right. We'll see you real soon. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye, Krista.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.